Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is HD StarCraft. How are you guys all doing today? And it's time for another StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm broadcast. And today I'm actually going to be bringing to you guys a game from the latest patch of Heart of the Swarm. I'm actually sending out a bit of a broadcast right now, letting anybody know if you guys have any great Heart of the Swarm replays. Feel free to go ahead and send them in to HDreplays@gmail.com. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Terran player. He's going to be in the top right-hand corner of the map, and his name is going to be HDreplays. I've already casted a few games of him on my YouTube channel. He's actually recently joined Team cWc.SHimoon, cWc.SHimoon, and that's great. I guess he's getting a little bit more exposure now that he's been casted on a couple of YouTube channels. And really, he's a talented Terran player. I've been impressed with what I've seen from him so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs here in this matchup. New patch in Heart of the Storm. His opponent, though, is going to be the blue Protoss player in the bottom left-hand corner, and his name is ZenMaster. Both these guys are top masters in Heart of the Swarm, so this should make for an interesting matchup. Usually, I cast games of the highest level. I don't usually cast low-tier games unless it's like a fan-submitted replay and it's really funny or something like that. And if you guys do have some really, wonky, completely out there replays with something really funny happening, I do accept those as well. And I look through almost every replay that I get, so it's always fun to go ahead and take a look and cast new and entertaining games. Of course, Heart of the Swarm is coming out in a couple of months, guys, so save up your, I don't know how much it's going to be, 40, 50, I think somewhere around there, 40, 50 bucks. So save up your money from Christmas and get ready to buy yourself a new game. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I had Christmas, I usually got money. I don't usually get presents. I guess that's just how my family works. But if you guys have a present that you didn't really like, or got a present you didn't really like, you can always return it, I guess, and then get your money back, and then use it to buy StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. Just don't tell the person who bought that gift for you, because it'd be pretty sad. Anyways, ZenMaster coming in here with a probe. As you guys can see, the barracks can immediately build a Reaper here. But of course, HDreplays isn't going to go for it right away, because the only difference, I didn't mention this in the patch video I made, but the Reaper does cost 50 gas. Obviously, the Marine only costs 50 minerals, so you do need a little bit of gas intake in order to make some Reapers, as they always have required. And so HDreplays here is just going to go with Marine production for now, and he is going to go ahead and throw up a second supply depot at the front there, just to make sure that this is walled off and nice, tight, and secure. One probe is going to still try to make its way in there, just glancing to go ahead and see if there is a command center, and I believe that he did get vision of that. So at this moment, ZenMaster is aware that his opponent has expanded, and he's actually going for a pretty quick mothership core there. He's already expanded as well. And this SCV, you can see when a mothership core is coming out against like probes, in comparison to probes, because there's a big light beam that comes up through the center crystal right there. And if you see an early mothership core like this, I gotta feel like ZenMaster is gonna try to be aggressive with this thing, because typically Protoss don't get a core that quickly. Usually they want to get warp gate technology, they want to get a stalker out, and then they want to expand. ZenMaster kind of going a little, he basically expanded first, and then, almost at the same time got a mothership core out. So it's almost like the mothership core is there early on to help defend the Nexus, and if he wants to, he could certainly make an attack. Now remember, the Time Warp field was moved from the Oracle to the core now, so the mothership core can use this ability really early on, and it should make for some interesting mechanics here in Protoss versus Terran. In fact, ZenMaster is moving out right now. He's got a proxy pylon in the bottom right-hand corner as well. One SCV at the top left, just, I guess, waiting there maybe to build a starport, perhaps, or just for a delayed scout. I think it's just for a delayed scout. Very rarely do Terrans go for proxy starport nowadays. But here comes the Stalker mothership core, and at the front door, HDreplays does have a bunker with 2 Marines inside. We'll see if a Stalker and a core can actually take that down. I don't think so. Not with SCVs ready and willing to repair, just a click away. But certainly that SCV that's building the supply depot will go down, due in large part to the firepower afforded by both of these units combined. And ZenMaster actually being a little annoying here. That's going to cut the supply for HDreplays and might make him blocked if he doesn't get another supply depot pretty soon. And it looks like he's building one in the back now as this army pushes up to the edge of the base. Now the nice thing about the core is it gives vision of the high ground forcing a cancellation of another bunker there. And that supply depot taking some damage. If ZenMaster wants to, he could drop a Time Warp field right now. Looks like Starport is we are gonna see some Banshee soon, and there comes a Time Warp field. So these Stalkers have really nothing to worry about, because it's very hard to get your Marines in position to fight off against Stalkers, because the Stalkers can pick off your Marines one at a time. And one way that Terrans counter that is by coming in with all their Marines at once, but that is very difficult when everything is slowed under the Time Warp field. So that was a great play by ZenMaster, and that has now put SHimoon under supply, but not before he was able to queue up a Banshee. So we are going to see a couple of Banshees coming out here. If ZenMaster had been able to kill that depot just a few seconds earlier, he might have been able to cancel or at least delay that Banshee for a longer period of time. But for now, SHimoon is going to get that out. ZenMaster has no idea that that is coming, but that does seem to be the de facto standard nowadays in Terran versus Protoss. A lot of Terrans loving to get the Banshee out early on in the game because it's a great harass unit, and it's good for scouting as well. So we'll see if ZenMaster is going to be prepared for this. He is not mining any gas out of the 3rd and 4th assimilator. Back at home, oh my god, he's got a ton of gateways. So we could be seeing a Charge Lot Archon all in on 2 bases here. Oh no, he's actually getting blinks. So let me see how many gateways he's got. He's got 6 gateways plus 2 Forges and Templar Archives. It's gotta be for a quick Archon and Charge Lot push here. That's the only thing that really makes sense for ZenMaster, and it looks like he's going to start to pull back now because the Banshee has made its way in. Now the Banshee's got Cloak, so any ideas that ZenMaster had to try to make an early 2-base push is going to be severely delayed now because he needs detection, and unfortunately he basically went the route that has no detection at all. Back then, Protoss had detection on the Mothership Core. Now you've got to get at either a Stargate or a robotics facility to get detection out, otherwise you're forced to rely only on photon cannons. And you can see here that ZenMaster really didn't want to go for Stargate or for robotics. He's forced now to get the robotics so that he can get an observer out. Otherwise, he was just planning to go for a 2-base Mass Templar, Charge Lot Archon, I believe, and that was his strategy. Now he's got +1/+1 on the way. He does have a photon cannon at the natural, so I think the Banshee here, it's time pretty much to do any more damage is up. I almost gotta feel like SHimoon hesitated there with this Banshee. I think he could have gotten a little bit more damage in before the photon cannon had finished, when he still had a little bit of energy remaining on the Cloak. But now there's cannons up all over the place. There's 2 inside the main. There's 2 at the natural, so it's highly unlikely this Banshee's going to get anything done, although there's a Templar there. Oh, feedback, very nice by ZenMaster. Intelligent, and that's going to make that Banshee super soft, and unless SHimoon wants to lose critical cargo right there, or I should say critical, a critical air unit, then he should probably get that out of there. So he is flying that out of the way right now. Now the question is, did SHimoon see the buildings inside? It looks like he saw the Templar, he saw the Twilight Council. Looks like he saw what he needed to see, and he should realize now, yeah, there's Storm coming on the way. Is there any indications here of ZenMaster going for a 3rd base? It looks like he's got a probe in position at the top left-hand side, so it looks like right now he might not actually push with what I thought he might have done, as we do have Stimpack on the way from the Terran player who's going basically for biological troops here. Got a no factory making any tanks at all. There's a tank. So there's a couple of tanks mixed into this army for SHimoon as well. Now remember, the tanks have siege mode right away, so they are really good. Well, they're not like better than they used to be, but if you can get a siege tank out, you don't have to wait for siege mode. I think it really helps Terrans make earlier timing pushes more effectively, and it helps them defend a little bit better as well, since they don't have to get that upgrade anymore. But it doesn't necessarily make the siege tank or a group of siege tanks a better unit, or a better unit composition. Now it does look like ZenMaster deciding to push in here, but there are tanks there. He does blink out of the way and avoids, I think he avoided one of the siege tank shots there, but one of the stalkers took some damage. As ZenMaster now is using his mobile army to go ahead to the bottom where that 3rd command center is, and this is a very exposed command center. I don't know if SHimoon's gonna be able to get back here in time to help defend this, and of course the Mothership Core can just use a Time Warp field right there, but ZenMaster did not. That was interesting. I don't, oh wow, now he's gonna be cornered back here, and I don't know why he didn't use a Time Warp field earlier. Oh, that's why he's, oh my god, he recalls the army out, but the Mothership Core dies? Is that even possible? I thought What? I thought if the mothership core dies and it's not able to warp the units back home, maybe the way the mothership core works is it brings the units out and then 1 millisecond later it brings itself home as well? That's the only thing that makes sense. I'm not sure how that just played out, but there you have it. ZenMaster now gonna blink forward, gonna try to pick off 2 tanks, and he's gonna get both of them. No, he has to pull away because there are troops now coming underneath the medevacs. And oh, what a storm right there, crucial storm. And that's gonna force that army back, and the Stalker's blinking forward, taking out a siege tank. Very nice play right here from ZenMaster, who's got 1-1, got another Templar coming in. Great storm on the Marines and Marauders and the medevacs. And the last tank is gonna go down as he blinks his Stalkers away. Another massive storm here. SHimoon is just, he's basically staying under the perfect storm for way too long. He needs to play that a little bit more carefully, as he does now actually have a Ghost Academy coming out. And that's pretty smart because it's always been like that really in Terran versus Protoss. If you're facing off against Storm, get some Ghosts out because they can snipe, they can EMP, they really are the hard counter to Templars. As Templars are somewhat of a counter to them as well because of feedback, but that is really one of the only options that a bio-based Terran player can go with, and that is Ghost. So he is trying to get those now on the field as he's got 2-2 on the way. But the Protoss is, yeah, he's also getting 2-2, about to finish 2-2 in fact. Couple of dropships coming in here with the Ignite Afterburners. And the Photon Cannon's going to go down very quickly. Where is the Protoss army? Nowhere to be seen, in fact. And this drop is actually going to be pretty effective. Will it be able to kill off the Nexus? I don't know, man. The Immortal is coming back, and so are the Stalkers. So this army should be deflected, but that was just a diversion. So SHimoon can get up here to the 3rd expansion and take out this Nexus. It looks like he's going to be able to do that as the Nexus is taking a pounding now, and most of the troops were back home to defend the main Nexus. So Nexus is down. And a beautiful play right there by SHimoon. And that's exactly what you do at the high level of StarCraft 2. You get in there and you distract your opponent, and then you come in with another strike force while his army is out of position. Very nice plays right there. And while he lost 2 medevacs, he was still able to use afterburners to save a good chunk of his troops there. So he can come back with this medevac and drop once again. He's also got this Banshee still kind of chilling in the background at the main base. So he can bring that in at another point in this game if he wants to be irritating and go for another double-pronged attack. ZenMaster now is coming in the middle though, and it looks like he's got his army. He wants to be aggressive here. He can certainly delay this command center from landing down, but the troops shouldn't be too far away. SHimoon doesn't actually have too many siege tanks in his army. In fact, he has stopped producing siege tanks altogether. Which I think it's a good idea for him to make a couple of siege tanks. I'm not too sure why he wouldn't want to reproduce to have a few in his army, as he is redropping this location and preventing a Nexus from going down. Meanwhile, it looks like ZenMaster engaging SHimoon here, but SHimoon deciding better against that. For a second there, I thought he was going to push out and secure that 4th command center. But he thinks twice about it and hesitates, and he's going to go ahead and pull back home. Meanwhile, this drop is just so effective. My god, look at how many probes he's killed already. 32 workers, but it looks like ZenMaster is going to try to get some revenge here by killing off the 3rd orbital command of the Terran player. Great psionic storm there, but he's got to be careful. He's going to get EMP'd. It looks like the Mothership Core not getting hurt by EMP there. And ZenMaster should be able to pull out of the way and drop a Time Warp field. There we go. I was wondering why he didn't use a Time Warp field on this ramp earlier. That would really help him if he wants to take out this orbital command, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Look at how slow those troops are, and really what SHimoon should do is load up inside the medevacs maybe, and then fly above the Time Warp fields, and then drop them beyond it, because medevacs are not affected by Time Warp. Time Warp is only a ground-based ability, and now SHimoon looks like he is going to push out. And he does keep that orbital command alive, surprisingly, but his troops are very deep in the red here. He's got to be careful, but with so many forces, it looks like he's going to be able to push effectively. Meanwhile, it looks like this drop finally gets cleaned up. As this battle continues to rage on, ZenMaster is pulling away now. I almost feel like ZenMaster definitely did not get the better end of that engagement, because to be honest with you guys, he didn't kill off the orbital command here. He did force it to lift off, but that's okay for a Terran. You can lift it off and replace it later on. And he lost a ton of probes over here at the left-hand side. And let's see how many workers he lost altogether. 35 workers, and this Nexus has been denied for a sustained period of time. You can see now ZenMaster actually did re-expand to the middle of the map. But this is a pretty precarious situation for our Protoss player. SHimoon now in complete control of this game, really. He's at 3-3. We're about to have 3-3 momentarily, so his upgrade's not as good as you'd expect, but that's okay, man. He's at 160 supply, over 126, so unless ZenMaster does something pretty miraculous here, it's going to be, I think, hard for him to come back in this game. It looks like his troops are falling back right now. He does have some storms ready, though. Can he drop the storms before he gets EMP'd? Yes, he does. Beautiful storms once again, but the medevacs are here. Now, can ZenMaster attack before those medevacs start to heal up those troops? It looks like he just doesn't have enough forces. That's proving to be pretty problematic. He has to pull back here. His supply is starting to close in, though. That last battle went pretty well for him. He's only down by about 30 supply now. I saw a little red blinking dot. It turns out it's just a factory floating around. You can see the resources lost pretty close here for both the Protoss and the Terran. SHimoon is probably going to lose his factory, but it's not a big loss there. He's already got a starport or two. And unless he wants to switch into battlecruisers, I don't see any need really to keep that factory alive. Otherwise you'd need the factory so you can make more starports. But here we go. It looks like SHimoon gonna go from the restricted area and boost in a medevac full of Marauders, and he's gonna go ahead and drop into the main base here, and he will actually be able to push this Immortal back. Can he kill the Immortal before those Marauders die? Unlikely. And SHimoon doing a good job there deflecting that drop. Now, meanwhile, look at this play right here from SHimoon coming in with the Cloak Ghost. There is no detection here for ZenMaster. He so desperately needs an Oracle, an Observer, or get in range of the Photon Cannon so he can see the Cloak Ghost. Now he's going to be able to see them, and he is pushing forward. Got a lot of charge shots, got the better concave as well, and he's going to push this army back. SHimoon is retreating. Could this be ZenMaster's moment to get back in the game? Look at this Mothership Core. It's been staying alive for a decent chunk of the last 10 minutes or so, and he is going to push the Marauder Marine Army back home. Biologically surrenders. There is SHimoon, but he's got a lot of reinforcements coming in here, and ZenMaster has to play this carefully. That's a heavily Marauder loaded army. To counter that, you need a lot of charge lots. He doesn't have enough charge lots to actually engage there, so he needs to pull back and warp in more units. It looks like now he is also going to go for a little bit of drop play himself, as he's got a Warp Prism coming around the top hand side. Will the Marauder see it? It looks like they will just get a bare glance. But is it enough for actually SHimoon to respond in time? I don't know if he actually noticed it, as two medevacs actually going to be boosting out of the way there. They were in the crossfire, and here comes the Warp Prism. Actually, ZenMaster says, okay, maybe not. I'm going to go around for another attempt. As there are some idle SCVs back over there, and these two medevacs, they're gonna go down, and that was great for ZenMaster. If he ever needed a chance right there to capitalize and get right back in this game, that was it, killing off those two medevacs. And all of a sudden, this game is, both players are right back in the thick of things. And here comes this Warp Prism. It looks like there is one Marine patrolling back there. He's on guard duty, who wasn't sleeping on the job. And ZenMaster is going to have to pull out of there, so he won't be able to get a drop down. That would have been a great drop, too, if he could have taken out the armories. The armory, maybe not the engineering base, they don't matter so much, but the armory to limit the possibility of getting vehicle and ship weapons, because at some point in the late game, Terran players, they eventually go to mech. You can see we already have some Vikings coming out right now. Battle cruiser, siege tanks, something like that. I think a lot of Terrans eventually go towards mech. But more importantly, if the Warp Prism had been able to get in there, he would have been able to delay production. I don't think I guess the armory and the engineering bay wouldn't have mattered all that much, but the barracks and the starports would have. Anyways, we do see SHimoon preparing for a potential Colossus tech switch here with those Vikings, but the problem here for that is, well, if you make Vikings and you make them blindly, and there are no Colossus coming out, it's actually a complete waste. You can see here that ZenMaster has not went into Colossus tech at all. He's actually been pretty much staying on his ground army. And how many Templars does he have? Because that's going to be a telltale sign of how well he'll be able to fight this Terran ball of madness. He's got about 5 Templar, so not a ton. He needs more Templar, I feel like. Definitely needs more Templar. And now he's going for Colossus. That's gonna be risky, because there are Vikings on the field now with ship weapons level 1 coming. So I don't know about the Colossus switch now, but he has no idea that Vikings are coming on the field, so you can't really blame him. Here comes an army from ZenMaster, potentially trying to do something here, but I don't see that being very effective. Not just Stalkers alone. There is a drop potentially coming on the left-hand side, checking to see if there's an expansion at the top left first. There is nothing there, so these two medevacs are going to try to drop into the third base here. excuse me, this is now the 4th base. ZenMaster just established this. ZenMaster has to keep this alive, but he has no pylons. That's the problem. He has no pylons here to indicate, to give an early warning system to see when a drop is coming. So the 2 medevacs boost in, drop down the Marauders, and ZenMaster in a little bit of trouble here. He's got to pull his army back to deal with this, and he does have a lot of Stalkers, so it's unlikely the medevacs will save these troops. But will the Nexus stay alive? It will not. SHimoon with another incredible snipe right there, down to the last second. And that is crippling for ZenMaster, who really needs that 4th base. If he's already down a base against the Terran players, so it's very difficult, obviously, if you're down 1 base trying to stay on par here, and that was a crippling blow. SHimoon now moving down to the bottom. Interesting to note here, he's actually got 2 cloak upgrades here, one for the Ghosts and one for the Banshees, interestingly enough. So here we go. It's time for him to potentially make an attack. And will he go for it or not? It looks like he's going around to the back to the middle of the map, trying to plot the best possible course before he engages. There are a set of debris here that he could break down to open up another attack avenue if he so chooses to, but I don't think he will. It looks like he is going to engage here. Those Vikings are a little bit ahead of themselves. They are going to go down, and that's huge because the Colossus, the only real threat to them right now are the Vikings, and of course a large pack of Marauders. So if he can keep those Vikings away, or at least limit the Vikings, which now we can see Vikings are being produced 4 at a time, then you know what, his Colossus can be a lot more effective. But regardless, here we go. SHimoon is pushing over to the top, and he sees a Nexus. There's a Nexus in his sights that he can take down. This is the 5th Nexus for ZenMaster. ZenMaster's got to keep it alive. He doesn't have any troops in range. He drops a Storm, but whiffs the 2nd time as well, and the Nexus has to be canceled. Oh man, those 2 storms were pretty bad. They didn't really hit the mark at all. I would have preferred to see the Templar try to feed back a couple of Ghosts rather than try to storm there. But here we go. He is going to try to move in, but those Ghosts are ready to go. Cyborg infantry locked on, and they can drop the EMP bomb so quickly. It looks like the Archons are in front, though. They're going to push the Ghosts back. They're just forcing the stim there from SHimoon. And, oh man, big plays here. A couple of snipes and EMPs coming down, and here comes a big fight. Will there be a time warp? No, the Mothership Core drops. I think this could be a good engagement for ZenMaster, though. He's got the better concave. Gonna force these troops to run away. There aren't enough Vikings either, and 1 Colossus will go down. Those Stalkers need to focus the Vikings off. There we go, and 1 Colossus is going to survive. ZenMaster is going to be successful there in winning that fight, and all of a sudden now I have no idea who is ahead, because ZenMaster time and time again, while it looks like he was out of the game, has been able to kind of claw himself back in it. This time he is going to be able to, I don't know if he's going to be able to recover it fully, though, because I noted at one point here SHimoon had a massive bank, and you can see it's reflected now in what he's got on the field. He's got, you know, he was down to only 100 supply, but he's caught back up pretty nicely. Not entirely, but he has been able to catch up a little bit. The one thing, though, is SHimoon, he's staying on bio only, and the problem with bio only now is Caduceus Reactor no longer allows medevacs to heal twice as effectively. So bio, it's a little questionable. In Wings of Liberty, you know, that was one of the problems for Terran. Bio wasn't very good against all the AoE they had to deal with, Archons, Colossus, and Storm. So I almost feel like SHimoon here, without the Caduceus Reactor available to him, the troops are just, the biological army is just not that good. So I don't know, I think he might be in a little bit of trouble right now. 180 supply to 145, I don't know how he's going to be able to win this game. There are some charge outs coming through the top, a big Protoss army over here as well, and ZenMaster at any moment can push in and just do a ton of damage. I feel like he can certainly take out this command center in the bottom right hand corner, no problem. But he's hesitating right now, and that's going to give SHimoon an opportunity to go ahead and come down here and defend. He shouldn't have hesitated there, but then again, he has no idea. He has no forward scout to see where the enemy army is, and it looks like that's a bad engagement for him. He loses the Colossus due to his hesitation, loses maybe a Marauder or two, excuse me, an Immortal or two as well, and that was not how he pictured things going down in the south side of the map here of Daybreak, so that was not good for him at all. He's going to have to back up over to his center line here. There are a couple of DTs that were warped in or maybe walked in, going straight for the Ghost Academy, interestingly enough. Nice play right there. And that's going to, of course, limit HDreplays from being able to make any more ghosts this game, which is great. But at the same time, HDreplays is going to drop and take out the Dark Shrine. So, eye for an eye, I guess you could say. Although it looks like these Marauders are going to go for Photon Cannons. I don't know. They got to make up their mind here. And finally, they decide, well, forget it. We're just going to get out of here and not even worry about that. These two DTs, meanwhile, doing a good job harassing the Terran player. And after killing off the Ghost Academy and maybe a few Marines and Marauders, finally going down to the backup that came back home. You can see resources lost, not favoring HDreplays here. I think a lot of that, it's a cause and effect. You know, the cause, lots of AoE from Protoss, and the effect, he's lost a lot more resources than the Protoss player. And that, like I said before, again, that's because medevacs now don't heal as quickly as they used to anymore. Blizzard actually saying they wanted Terrans not to really use medevacs in that way, but they wanted Terrans to start incorporating more Hellbats into their army. And I definitely feel like right now Hellbats would be a great addition to this Terran army. They'll still be healed by the medevacs, but they deal a lot more damage than they did before to every type of unit. And they don't need the Blue Flame upgrade either, so against this many charge lots, the Hellbat I feel like would be an incredible unit, but HDreplays is not, he doesn't even have a factory. He lost it originally, so maybe he just doesn't have the time to go for it. He is going for another backside drop here, and he's going to try to take out a couple of probes. It looks like he should be successful in killing off a few, and that medevac is out of there as the troops come back home. You know, both these players have been playing pretty protectively, I would say, pretty passively. You haven't seen either guy say, all right, I'm going to go for it now, I'm going to go for the juggler, but then again, they haven't had that window of opportunity to do so just yet. They're still trying to maneuver their way into a victory by dropping, sending DTs in, you know, these backstab plays, but the defense for both of them have been pretty stout so far. You know, they've only lost, what, a Ghost Academy here, a Dark Shrine, not even losing the Dark Shrine actually back here. And look at this, we have 5 Ghost Academies coming up right now. Oh my god. So, well, obviously when a Terran player makes more than 1 Ghost Academy, you're immediately alerted to the possibility of nuclear missiles. And obviously with 5 here, that there's no doubt about it. He's going for nukes. I mean, there's no reason to really build more than 1 unless you wanted to upgrade all the upgrades at once. Wouldn't make any sense there, but we do have a quick attack here from ZenMaster. Once again, a bad idea. He does get the recall off this time, and he gets most of his army out, but a Colossus does go down. Oh man, these attacks, I guess that's one of the reasons why he's so gun-shy, ZenMaster, because every time he's tried to go in for it, he's lost a significant chunk of his army, so he's going to revert back to going for these little backstab attacks. Dark Templar and Zealots going in here, as this army is going to be cleaned up. The Mothership Corps, of course, bringing most of the Protoss troops back home. And that is going to be cleared. But meanwhile, HDreplays pushing in here. Got a ton of troops. Storm comes down. Great dodging right there from HDreplays, though, who gets out of the way. He's got to blow through the cannons first before he can send the Ghost forward. There's another Storm. And ZenMaster just trying to get as many. Oh, that Storm was critical. Great Storm right there, blowing through those Marines. Meanwhile, Dark Templar and Zealots in the background going for the add-ons on the barracks so that the Terran cannot make any more Ghosts or Marauders. And the Ghosts in the front, oh, they get trapped. They're going to get taken out, but ZenMaster's got to be careful. Doesn't have the best concave there, and is going to have to pull back. He needs more Templar for Storm. He's trying to get the Storms down right now. Vikings even landing as well. The Vikings not the best combat unit, but every little bit does help, and it looks like HDreplays is going to get the victory. So he did have enough at the end of that battle to finally force the GG out of ZenMaster, but I don't know if ZenMaster actually needed to leave. He still had an expansion at the 12 o'clock. Look at his bank. He's got 2,300, 1,300. I think he could have afforded to lose this Nexus and then re-macro maybe at this Nexus right here and just warp in a bunch of more units. I don't know why he left the game. I definitely feel like that was a premature GG right there, but at the end, HDreplays does get the victory. So there you guys have it. One of the newest games here from the latest patch of Heart of the Storm. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, do check me out. I'm at YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at HDStarcraft. And that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. And this is HD. I am signing out.